Welcome back to the channel. Drew here, Winning Turo Strategies, winning strategies for Turo. Your channel to give you the most up-to-date information on peer-to-peer rental business and the Turo business. Turo just rolled out their biggest bonus program ever. The headline is they're offering $2,000 bonuses for every additional car you add from now till January 1st. And obviously there's got to be some fine print there. Obviously there's got to be some more information that we need, and that's what we're going to look at today. Let's dive in. Let's talk about it. What is the fine print? What things do we need to be careful of? And most importantly, how can we maximize this program to add to our profitability? And let's dive in. All right, welcome to the whiteboard. And basically what I've done is I've broken down real numbers from my vehicles and how they would compare to if we added similar vehicles to the platform that being in that kind of production. So you can actually see exactly what a vehicle would do. And if you've got a Turo fleet on the platform already, you're going to have something in the range of all 4 or 5 of these. So hopefully this would be beneficial for you. But before that, let's start out with the fine print. I mean, basically the fine print is maintain all-star performance metrics, right? Again, not that hard to do. It should be something you should be focused on anyways. It's important to be an all-star host. In my opinion, that definitely helps as far as people choosing you, searching you out. And then keep current cars active. This is the I'm going to put an asterisk here because I'm putting basically, this is for sure a minimum of 20 rental days during the promo. But if you plan on, there's a couple of vehicles where I may actually sell the vehicles, and I'm assuming the fact that if I have 20 rental days in that period and I only snooze it rather than actually removing it from the platform, I'm not going to remove it until I get my bonus money, basically. But I think I'll be safe doing that because there's some vehicles, as you know, I've got several purchases on order, just several orders on several vehicles that I have on order that when they're ready to go, I'm buying them, and I may want to trade in some of my fleet. So I'm trying to get all my vehicle, even ones I don't plan on keeping, getting those 20 rental days in quickly, which you should be able to do in 1, 2, 3 months max, for sure. So pretty easy fine print. Where it gets gets tricky is the actual amount that Turo is actually giving you. They're saying up to $2,000 per car. Well, you're going to see really quickly that it's very difficult to get to that $2,000 per car. And so I got 5 examples here. These are real numbers from my fleet, February to June. So I'm using 5 months. I'm using 5 months because you really only have 5 months to actually bring in the revenue. Most July is already gone, and even if you bought a car, the announcement came out on July 1st. Even if you bought a car a week or 2 in, you're not even going to get a full July. So I'm scratching July, just focusing on August to December 31st, and it actually reflects pretty well into the February to the June timeline in the sense that you have a couple really good months and you have a couple off months. If anything, you may bring a little bit more production of February to June. But these are real numbers from real cars from my fleet versus a 17 Chevy Cruze. And what the Chevy Cruze has brought in February to June is about $2,200-$2,300. Another similar car is the Acura TSX. This is a great car. This has been one of my best performing vehicles. I've had it from the platform for 2.5 years now, and it brings in, as you can see, about 20% more than an economy car. And this stretch from February to June brought in $2,700. Jeep Gladiator brought in around $4,000. Okay, that's a newer ad I added at the beginning of the year. And the next one, a great Turo vehicle, Honda Odyssey, 2008. Honda Odyssey brought in almost $4,600. Now, C8, obviously, $9,600 in 5 months. Now, I have to do an estimate on this because the vehicle was damaged. It was out for a whole month. So I just took the breakdown of the 2 months around that to get a good estimate on that. But basically the C8 can bring in around 10 grand in a 5-month period, which I'm not complaining on that. That's a very, very good. So now, when we take these numbers, we compare it to Turo's bonus scale, you can see where they're not fudging the numbers. It's just, it's very difficult to get to that $2,000 max. In fact, you almost have to have a $20,000 car, a car that can bring in 20 grand in 5 months. Well, I don't know any vehicles out there that can do that. Now, if you do, I'd love to hear about them. Post them in the comments, like, what is a $20,000 vehicle? What vehicle can you bring in consistently? $20,000 for 5 months would be $4 grand a month. There is definitely vehicles out there you can do $4 grand in 1 month. In fact, the C8 did that. But consistently for 5 months, $4,000 a month is, I don't know a lot of vehicles out there that can do that. I'd like to get some feedback from you guys on what vehicle can pull that kind of numbers. Maybe exotic cars. There's probably some exotic cars can do it. And so, as far as that goes. So I'm basically going to, write this off because I don't know vehicles that'll do that kind of production. The C8, in my opinion, is the hottest car on Turo, and you're doing around 10 grand. Maybe, depending on the market, you might be able to get 11,000, 12,000 in certain markets, especially like Miami and maybe LA, that kind of area. So the bottom line is you're going to kind of live in this area here. And the 2,500, you can see, is similar to these two here at around that 2,500 point. 5% is $125, 187 at 7.5. This would be your first car, second car, first car, second car, third car, fourth car, fifth cars. You can use the graph to kind of run the numbers, but you're going to see that, even if you added 5 full cars, you're going to start here and kind of work your way over. So, it's going to be, I think even if you had 5 cars, you're going to be around, and you calculate all your different bonuses, you're going to be somewhere around like $2,500 to $4,000 if you have really high-end cars high producing cars. So keep that in mind because, the $2,000 per vehicle is not realistic. Even a high-end vehicle like a Corvette, a C8, you're going to be, and you end up that being the 5th vehicle that you add is going to be around $1,500. So, in my opinion, there's a few different things that I would do, and you can do your own math based on what you're thinking about adding and how it translates to the Turo graph. You don't really need my help to do it, but I felt like this could be a way for you to, one, I want to do it for me to see kind of how to plan it out, and then secondly, maybe it's beneficial to you as well. So I'm going to show you my takeaways from the program and what I'm planning on doing, and then maybe it'll be helpful for you. All right, so you got to love my daughter's art here. This is London's insignia, but takeaways. So let's just do this. Takeaways from. So these are my takeaways. One, I'm not making major changes to my strategy. In other words, even in a perfect scenario where you scale out your cars, whether you add all, $5,000, $10,000 cars, you're really leveraging yourself. The max you're going to make is 500, 750,000. You're looking at a total of $4,000 or $5,000 of bonus money. So is that worth the risk of over leveraging yourself with really high-end, high-producing cars? Now, if you're new to the business and you have the capital and you were planning on scaling up anyways, maybe that's an extra bonus. But again, I wouldn't make major changes to my strategy, my current strategy of how I'm growing my business. So we're not making major changes to my strategy. No major changes, okay? But number two, I am making minor changes, and what that means is, that I have vehicles on order that I'm planning on purchasing anyways. I got a C8 that'll be here within 2 weeks is the plan. And so since I knew that, I really want the C8 getting pushed down here. I don't want the C8 here. I want the C8 into the 10, 12, 15% range. So I already added one car in July, and I'm searching for another cheap, low cash vehicle. If I can't find a cash vehicle, there's other vehicles I'm targeting, but I'm searching to get at least one more car in between before I add the C8, because I want the C8 at minimum here. I would love the C8 here as far as production wise, but you know, I'm not forcing anything. I'm not making major changes, but I am adding smaller or cheaper ads before large ads. So I got two vehicles that I purchased cash that I'm adding. I want to add before the C8 goes live. I also have potentially, I am praying and hoping I can get my Bronco during this period. I hope they just surprise me, but it's been over a year now and I still don't have a VIN number and date on that. But I hope I get at least one of my Broncos. I hope to get, you know, the Ford Maverick. I hope to get, I have two of those on orders. I potentially could get one or both of those during this period. So before the Bronco, if I knew I had the Bronco coming in, I might add another vehicle, which would be my fourth. And before the Bronco, because I think the Bronco is going to be a pretty good producer, even though it'll probably only be for about 2 or 3 months. So I'm not going to get the full money, but I'd like to get a higher percentage on the Bronco as well. So adding small, cheaper cash cars before your heavy hitters that you're adding to the platform is a good strategy, is a good thing to implement. And then 3 is I am bumping my insurance tiers, bumping tiers. So what I mean by that is if my typical tier on the car is going to be 70, I'm bumping it to 75 just for this period. And in other words, Turo is going to give me bonus money on what they actually pay me. So if I can bump the tier even a 5%, yes, there's a little bit more risk, but I'm going to get an additional 5% on the 5%. So that's one thing I'm doing. If I was at the 75 tier, planning on that vehicle, I'm bumping it to 80. And if I was at 80, I'm bumping it to the 85 plan. So those are 3 things that I'm doing. I think that is the wisest way to implement what the bonuses that Turo's doing, because I don't want to make major financial decisions to my game plan just to try to capitalize on a couple $1,000s when, remember, as soon as the promotion's over, you're going into January, February, March, which tend to be the slowest months in the business. So if you're adding several loans, a lot of new people are going to get burnt. People who are adding 10, 12, 15 cars in a 2-month period of time, really going all in the business, and they don't understand the ebbs and flows of the business, they're going to get hammered come January, February, March, and then you know what happens is they start lowering the rates to barely make their payments on vehicles where they over leverage themselves. So I don't think you want to do that. It's a great program. It's a great bonus program. I'm happy to get, I think I'll probably end up in the range of $2,000 to $3,000 of bonus money. I'm not complaining on that. And I'm only adding maybe 1 or 2 cars that I wouldn't have added anyways. The only thing I am doing is I can put this as number 4, is I'm holding vehicles on longer. So basically holding vehicles on the platform longer than planned. And what I mean by that is I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to give Turo a reason to not pay me the bonus money. So I got cars that I probably, as I was adding these new vehicles like the C8, the Bronco, the Maverick, those vehicles, I probably would be some of them I'd be trading in vehicles on that. And I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep those, and then I'll try to sell them or trade them in maybe in January, February, March after I get my bonus money, and then as far as that goes. So that's what I'm doing. Maybe take some tips from that and implement that as well. What I don't want is I don't want to over leverage myself, changing my whole strategy to where I'm over leveraged going into the new year. Typically, I like to buy cars in February. Is a great time to buy cars before tax season, January, February. You can get some good deals, and by the time you get it on the platform, you're rolling right into the busy season. And even like a luxury type car, you can capitalize on all the busy season and really recoup a lot of your money, even if the car is going to depreciate. So that's my strategy. That's how I'm trying to maximize. I think my profit or bonus profit, as long as I can check all my boxes, should be around $2,000 to $3,000. And if I can do that, I'll be super happy. I mean, that's extra money in my pocket. You know, I'm happy for that. So it's not $2,000 per car, but it's extra money that Turo didn't have to pay me, and I'm building it around. I'm only adding maybe 1 or 2 cars that I wouldn't add anyway. So that's my strategy. That's what I'm doing. I'd like to get feedback from you guys. What are you doing? What are you doing differently from me to maximize the profit that you can bring in on the bonus money, but at the same time not put yourself at too much risk? So until next time, thanks for stopping in, and we'll continue to keep giving you the best advice, tips as possible.